I've been driving for a rideshare app for about 3 years now. It started as a side hustle, but turned into my main gig. Night shifts suit me. I like the quiet, the empty roads, and the peace that comes when the city finally exhales. But sometimes the peace is deceptive. It was a Thursday night in early fall, cool air, dead leaves skittering across the pavement, and the kind of fog that rolls in like it's being summoned. I remember this night so vividly, not just because of what happened, but because something shifted in me after it. I don't drive nights anymore. Not after her. It was 1:37 a.m. when the request came in. A pickup outside an old roadside motel, barely lit and half sunken into shadow. The kind of place where the neon sign flickers like it's trying to warn you. I almost didn't take the ride. The area had a reputation. Overdoses, runaways, people looking to disappear. But money is money, and it was a quiet night. I pulled in, headlights slicing through the fog. She was already waiting. A woman in a long black dress standing perfectly still under the flickering vacancy sign. Her hair was dark, maybe black, maybe deep brown. It was hard to tell in the dim light. She didn't wave or check her phone. She just got in. "Good evening," I said, watching her in the rearview mirror. She didn't respond, just buckled her seatbelt slowly, like she was remembering how. Then she said in a soft, melodic voice, "I'd like to go home." Her destination came through a second later. Hollow Pines Cemetery. I assumed it was nearby. Maybe she worked there, or had some odd reason to visit that late. People do strange things at night. The moment we pulled out, I noticed something. She wasn't showing up on my dashboard. Usually, I can see the passenger's name, a little profile photo, and the route, but this time, nothing. Just a blank request and the destination. "Are you okay?" I asked, trying to sound casual. She smiled faintly and looked out the window. "Do you believe in ghosts?" I let out a nervous chuckle. "Not really. I mean, I've heard some weird stories, but I've never seen one." She turned toward me slowly. Her eyes were dark, but there was a shimmer in them, like they were holding back water or memories. "I died in that motel," she said, matter-of-factly. "I just wanted to go home one more time." I kept my eyes on the road. She had to be messing with me. Maybe she was high. Maybe drunk. Either way, this was getting too strange. "That's quite the story," I said, forcing a laugh. "Halloween's not for a few weeks, though." Silence. The fog was thickening, and the trees lining the back road seemed taller than usual, crowding us in. My GPS rerouted twice, even though it was a straight shot to the cemetery. My phone buzzed, but when I looked, there were no notifications. Then something changed. The temperature in the car dropped fast. My windows began to fog up inside and out, and my breath became visible. I glanced in the mirror again. She was staring straight at me, not at my reflection. I looked back at the road. My heart started racing. I gripped the wheel tighter. "Have you ever felt like you were supposed to help someone, even if it meant breaking the rules?" she asked. Her voice wasn't soft anymore. It was low, steady, filled with weight. I didn't answer. We drove in silence for the next 10 minutes, though it felt like an hour. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the fog cleared. We were on a narrow road, lined with rusted iron fences. Ahead, the gates to Hollow Pines Cemetery stood wide open, like they'd been waiting for us. She spoke again. "You don't have to wait." But I parked anyway. She unbuckled, opened the door, and stepped out. The light from the street lamp flickered, and for a second I swear to God she wasn't casting a shadow. Then she was gone. Not walked away, not vanished into darkness. Just gone. I got out, ran around the car, and looked everywhere. Nothing. No sign of her. The grass wasn't disturbed. The gate didn't creak. The fog didn't return. I was alone. Back in the car, my hands shook as I checked the app. No trip history, no pickup, no fare. It was like the whole thing had never happened. And yet the back seat was still warm. I didn't sleep that night. I drove around until sunrise, trying to rationalize it, trying to shake the chill from my bones. A few days later, curiosity got the better of me. I went back to the cemetery during the day. I told myself it was to prove there was a logical explanation. But deep down, I was hoping I'd find nothing. Instead, I found a headstone near the entrance. Fresh flowers sat at its base. Amelia Grace, Tully, 1987, 2019. She just wanted to go home. I stood there, stunned. That was her. I didn't know how, but I knew. The woman in my car had died 6 years ago. Sometimes I still smell her perfume, faint rose and rainwater, lingering in my car when I'm alone at night. And every now and then the app glitches and suggests a pickup near that same motel. I never go back, not because I'm scared, but because I think she got what she needed. And I don't want to know what happens to the driver who picks her up twice. I first noticed it on a Tuesday. I was brushing my teeth, ordinary brain-numb routine, when I saw my reflection blink half a second too late. It was such a small delay I might have dismissed it if not for the way it looked at me. Not like I was a reflection of it, but like I was something else, something separate. I leaned closer. So did it. Perfectly timed. I even waved my hand and made faces like an idiot. Everything mirrored back, normal again. But as I walked away, I swear I saw a smirk. By Friday, I'd started avoiding mirrors altogether. My bathroom cabinet, the hallway mirror, the black glass of my phone screen. Each one began to feel like a window rather than a reflection. And the thing on the other side, it wasn't just copying anymore. It was watching, calculating. Once, I caught it still staring even after I'd turned away. I spun back, fast, too fast to fake. But it was already mid-turn, mimicking me like nothing was wrong. It was quick. It looked straight at me through the glass and whispered, "You're doing fine. I'm almost ready." When I woke up, I'd clawed 4 deep gouges into the wooden edge of my nightstand. My fingers ached. I started taping black garbage bags over the mirrors. Even the TV screen. Friends thought I was having a breakdown, maybe a psychotic episode. I wanted them to be right. At least then I'd be able to explain what happened next. A week later, I came home to find every mirror uncovered. The tape had been peeled cleanly off. Not ripped, peeled, carefully. Like someone had taken their time with it. The full-length hallway mirror stood exposed. I stood across from it, breath sharp in my chest. My reflection stared back, still, silent. Then it did something I didn't. It blinked, slowly, and smiled. I bolted out of the apartment, slept in my car that night. Windows fogged with breath I couldn't be sure was mine. Every time I glanced at the rearview mirror, I imagined a pair of eyes in the back seat staring out. I tried burning sage, salt circles, even a psychic I found on Craigslist. She wouldn't go near my apartment, said the air around it. Wasn't human, told me to leave. Move out, destroy the mirrors, she said. Don't look into them. especially not at night. But I couldn't leave, not yet. I needed to see. 2 nights ago, I gave in. I uncovered the bathroom mirror again, sat in front of it with every light off, just a single candle flickering on the sink. I stared. It stared back. For a long time, nothing happened. Then it breathed. Not me. It. A thin fog of condensation crept up the inside of the mirror, like someone exhaling from behind the glass. I was frozen, watching. It leaned closer, its eyes slightly off from mine, lips parting just a little. It spoke again, but no sound came, just a whisper in my mind, like a thought that didn't belong to me. Let me try. I screamed and smashed the mirror with the candle. Glass everywhere, blood on my hands from a sharp shard. My heart thundered so loud I couldn't hear my thoughts. But I felt something change, like a weight shifting. Like something had gotten in. Last night I dreamed again, but this time I was in my body in my apartment. Normal, warm. Until I turned to the bathroom mirror and it was gone. Just a hole in the wall. Not drywall, not brick, void. From that dark gap, I saw fingers. My fingers curl over the edge, pulling another me into the room. It stood there, mirror me smiling. A perfect match, but it didn't feel right. It moved like me, breathed like me. But its eyes were wrong, too focused, too aware. It whispered again, "Thank you." I woke up in bed this morning. Everything in place. No blood, no glass, no scratches on the wall. But when I looked in the mirror, it was perfect, too perfect. No delay, no hesitation. Everything mimicked with machine precision. Until I turned to walk away. And it didn't. Now, as I write this, I can see it standing there behind me, in the mirror, perfectly still, smiling, watching, waiting. It's not copying anymore. It doesn't need to, because I don't think I'm me anymore. And whatever I am now, I think it's watching from the other side. I found the radio at the yard sale on a Saturday morning. It was tucked behind dusty picture frames and chipped coffee mugs, its dial frozen at an unworn-off station name WQRY. It looked like something from the 1960s, silver knobs, a cracked leather handle, and a faded sticker warning, "Not for emergency use." I paid $2 and lugged it home, thinking it would make a quirky decoration for my late-night writing session. That night, I plugged it in. Static hissed through the tiny speaker. I turned the dial slowly, listening to old-time rock and roll, late-night jazz, a frantic farm report, then silence. I was about to flip it off when a voice, distant and muffled, cut through the static. "Help, they're coming." I froze. The voice crackled, warped, like someone shouting into a tin can at the end of a long tunnel. Then the station blinked off, and so did the speaker. I checked the time. 11:17 p.m. I shrugged, chalked it up to a radio glitch, and went to bed. The next night I had almost forgotten the radio, but at 11:17 p.m., same time, it clicked on, by itself. The static rose and a young woman's voice pierced the darkness. "Don't trust the water, they've poisoned." The words cut out into static. My skin crawled. I scribbled the phrase into my notebook, heart hammering against my ribs. I sat by the radio until it clicked off again. Exactly 30 seconds later. Day 3, curiosity outweighed fear. I set an alarm for 11:15 p.m. and sat with the radio, pen poised. At 11:17, it crackled to life. This is not a drill. A gravelly male voice snarled. The walls. They listen. Run before. The sentence dissolved into hisses. I raced for my notebook, trembling. The voices, the frantic warnings, they felt too real to be actors' lines or a prank. Yet they were coming from the future. Or so I convinced myself. By day 4, I barely slept. I researched WQRI online. No records, no mentions in any FCC database. It was as if the station never existed, except in my quiet apartment on 88 Ave. Sleep-deprived paranoia set in. Every hum of electricity, every creak of the floorboards sounded like someone whispering from beyond. At 11:16 p.m., I filled 3 glasses with water, set them before the radio. At 11:17, the voice returned. They're in the vents, spread through the air. Don't drink. My hand froze over a glass. A horrifying thought struck. What if the warnings weren't just warnings but a countdown? I lunged to knock the glasses away as the radio fell silent. Water shattered. Glass cut my palm. I sat in the dark, dripping blood onto the carpet, mind racing. Whatever was happening, it was getting closer. On the 5th night, I couldn't wait for 11:17. I turned the radio on at 10:00 p.m. Static filled the room, but no voices came. I tried every frequency, fiddled with knobs, even opened the back panel. Nothing. The dial flickered if I tapped the side, but the speaker remained stubbornly mute. I felt relief bubble up. Without the voices, maybe I could sleep normally again. I turned off the lamp, lay down, and closed my eyes. At exactly 11:17, the radio jolted on by itself, and there was silence. I sat up, heart in my throat. Then, a new sound. My own voice, flat and disembodied. They're here. It repeated twice. A guttural scratching noise followed, as if talons scraped the wood. I flicked on the light. The radio lay on its side, cord wrapping around a leg of my desk like a serpent. I wanted to scream, but my throat constricted. The 6th night was a blur. I spent the day searching online for any urban legends or conspiracy theories about radios predicting disasters, but all I found were hoaxes and paranoid threads. I bought a backup battery pack, just in case. By 10:00 p.m., I sat in front of the radio, fresh bandage on my palm, every light on in the apartment. At 11:17, instead of static, there was a high-pitched tone, like fingernails on a chalkboard. It honked and swelled, then resolved into a child's laughter. Slow, deliberate, mocking. The laughter turned into a gargled scream. I staggered away and spilled my coffee on the floor, splashing cold, bitter grounds. The radio shut off. Silence pressed in, suffocating me. Night 7. The pièce de résistance. I taped my notebook to the radio's top. Tell me what's happening. Are you from the future? I jammed a pencil between the knobs, holy water in a shot glass beside it, and waited. At 11:17, it clicked on. Day 0. The voice wheezed. Containment breach. City. Quarantine. The words came slowly, like each one was a struggle. I scribbled furiously. Evacuate north side, it said. Shelter tunnels. Flood the doors. Static swallowed the rest. The radio popped once, then dialed itself slowly to 0 and shut off. I sat trembling, trying to make sense. Containment breach. Quarantine. North side of what? Something unspeakable was unfolding somewhere in the future. And this radio was my only warning. I looked at my bandaged hand, still sticky from spilled coffee. The room felt too small, the walls closing in. I thought I saw movement in the hallway mirror, a flicker of a dark shape, but when I turned, there was nothing. This morning I woke to a voicemail from my sister. "Did you see the news? Something weird happened downtown." My heart plunged. She had forwarded a link to a breaking story. An unexplained lockdown at the city zoo. Security footage showed panicked zookeepers fleeing as cages sprang open, animals behaving erratically, growls echoing through empty corridors. Officials called it an electrical malfunction, but media outlets were reporting injuries. Guards scratched, attacked by creatures that weren't on any registry. My apartment is 2 blocks from the zoo. I have 7 hours until 11:17 p.m. I'm packing my bag. If you're reading this, if I don't make it, please believe me. The future isn't set. Every warning I get from WQRY is a chance to stop whatever's coming. Tonight, I'll tune in one last time. And maybe, just maybe, I can change the ending.